Does this austerity measure make me look fat? No? Stand by for a little hair of the dog.
The country's in a lot of trouble. We have a president who just weekend at Camp David was advocating a position to the left of the European Central Bank, which has been resisting doing an American-type stimulus to solve their problems, and yet the president is arguing that the Europeans should replicate policies that clearly haven't worked here.
Okay, I know it never worked anywhere in the history of humanity, but that's because nobody ever had the light bringer before. It'll work this time. Honest. No? No. Bob Schieffer was all worked up again this week, and because I pretend to care, I'm going to make you pretend to care. Take a listen.
The New York Times reported Thursday that a billionaire named Joe Ricketts, the founder of TD Ameritrade, had commissioned a series of racially charged campaign ads tying Barack Obama to the incendiary Black Power minister Jeremiah Wright.
Yes, because it's such a stretch to find a connection between the President of the United States and the minister whose sermons he listened to for 20 years, and during a week when that minister is back in the news because the president apparently tried to bribe him into shutting up during the last election. Do I give Bob the eyebrow? Yeah? Yeah, here's the eyebrow. Eyebrow of Total Disdain! Jeez, Bob, you're collecting those like you collect... No, I'm not even going to say it. Let's move along. Top guest on this week was John Boehner, but you know what? Let's go to the second guest, Nancy Pelosi. And here's Nancy talking sense on taxes. Oh, shut up. That can happen. No? No.
Bringing the middle-income tax cuts to the floor now, passing those, would help our economic recovery, would be a clear signal that the upper-end tax cuts for the wealthy will expire because they will not be, the middle-income tax cuts will not be held hostage to those.
You see how that works? Cutting taxes for people with jobs creates jobs, and raising taxes on people who create jobs also creates jobs. Perfect sense. And now, yeah, more Nancy. Here is more Nancy talking sense on that Simpson-Bowles deficit reduction plan, which the president totally ignored.
What I said was that what I believe is that the framework of Simpson-Bowles was a very important one. It assumed the expiration of the high-end tax cuts. It took a harsh look at all of our spending, including our defense spending. It had a proper balance between cuts and revenues that we have to have.
You notice what you mentioned there? Tax hikes on the rich, cutting military spending, and, well, all that other stuff. That's what you negotiate out. Who needs entitlement reform? We'll just print more money. Sure we will. Democrats, you know what? Democrats increased spending 25% in just 2 years, and then they call the Republicans irresponsible for resisting tax hikes. How dare you not pay for our spending problem? Meanies. Fox News Sunday, moving along, opened with a debate between Paul Ryan, hey girl, and the president's former chief economic advisor, Austin Goolsby, and it wasn't much of a debate.
Mr. Goolsby, can you tell me a major CEO in this country who doesn't see his main job as creating wealth for his investors?
I don't know the answer to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president's former chief economic advisor, he doesn't know what a CEO is supposed to do. Oh, I'm just going to have to find my center here. Come on, Zen. Come. That right there explains the last 3 years. That's all you need to know. Guest numero uno on Meet the Press was the Republican hottie who makes all the smart girls swoon, Paul Ryan. All right, let's get fiscal.
This is a cautionary tale of what happens when politicians who make a lot of empty promises end up running out of the ability to borrow money at cheap rates, and now they're broken promises. It's a cautionary tale of what will happen to us if we stay in the path we are on. What we're saying is let's get on growth and prevent austerity.
Hey, girl, don't make me be like Greece. I'm never getting tired of that. I'm sorry. A little later on, yeah, we're moving on. A little later on during the roundtable, David Gregory had the big question. Well, I think this one's on everybody's mind.
All right, let me get a break in here. I want to come back and talk more about if the election were held today. I want to look at some of the real battlegrounds where these candidates have been spending their time, not all the ones that you might think of.
Now, if the election really were held today, we don't know who the winner would be, but the roundtable had a pretty clear idea of what it would look like. Check out this next bit.